Hey, it's Paar here, and we're going to go through the high-level calendar review. I'm going to give you an in-depth look on how to set up those calendars and your teams, which you can do now. And so we're going to dig in right now. So remember to hit that subscribe button to get my high-level videos, and also like this video, comment below. I'll answer any questions. And most of all, there's a link. If you don't have HighLevel, I'll give you 14 days free on a free trial. So watch this video. You're going to learn a lot. Hey, I'm back, and I'm excited to show you this because I am so pumped about HighLevel. And I've got this test account that I use for just demoing. So if there's nothing in here, that's why. But it allows me to teach you guys on how to use HighLevel and really get a grasp on it. And watch my other videos. I've got a step-by-step walkthrough on below this video in the description that you can go through. But you're going to learn a lot from this, from cold lead generation to a lot of different things. And a lot of people, I get about 6 calls a day on people reaching out to me with questions. You know, if you haven't signed up under my link and you signed up under somebody else's, like Christine Seal or somebody like that, that's fine. I'm here to help you out. I'm not here. I want you to be successful in your marketing company. That's what I want. So let's dive in. You're in your dashboard. So you're looking at, we're going to go through the calendar and click on settings. So the first thing that we need to do is look at our teams. We need to set up our teams. And so you have to add the team management in here. And so add those team members, and then you can set up your teams. So to do that, it's pretty simple. You get once you add your users into the team management, just go to teams and then add your teams. So we're gonna, a team is basically, we could have a closer team, a book onboarding, like an onboarding team. We could have a support team, different things like that. So we're just going to call this a closing team to make it easy right now. And we're just going to add those team members in here. So once you've add those under team management, you can just select these. So if I selected Jody and Melanie, you can do that. And this allows, there's another option here. So once we add these 2 team members in there, we can apply the change to the team members to existing calendars, which got the link to this team. So we can apply this, and both those people will get that notification. And so I'm going to add, we're just going to call this closers, and add a description to this. I'm just making up things right now. We'll call it closing team, and you can do a URL, a custom calendar URL, and we're just going to call it closing. Now we can assign this. Let me explain this a little bit. So we can assign this to the contacts in the respective calendar. Each time the appointment is booked, these 2 team members will get a notification. Then there's an option to skip, which is really cool what HighLevel does here. They are adding things that no software company thinks about. And it's obvious that they know the marketing aspect of things and how to generate leads and how leads should be generated and moved to individuals when you're doing marketing. So we can do skip assigning contact if your contact has already been assigned to a user. And there's some other options. Let me just explain this a little bit. There's some other options that we can actually prioritize the individual. So maybe we want Melanie to be the top one that gets those leads, and then Jody gets those leads, but we can set those accordingly. So it's really cool how we can go about doing that. But it's gives that aspect that if somebody, say Melanie misses individual, Jody can back up onto that. So we're just going to hit save and move on. Okay, now that we have our team set up, we have a closing team. So we've got one team in here and 2 individuals assigned to that. We can now go into our calendars. So it's going to look a little odd. I haven't set up any new calendars, although I do have my closing team calendar. But you're going to see this section here, unassigned, basically unassigned calendars, because this is the old HighLevel, and it's not like when they updated the software, all your calendars disappeared. They're just not assigned yet. So we have to assign them. But if you want to create a new calendar, you can do that. You don't have to assign a specific calendar to anyone in particular. So to do that, you're just going to basically click new calendar, and you can add that calendar in there. But we can add a calendar right here under our closing team. And this is where we want to set up our settings to get this calendar set up. So we're going to go through these settings right now. So one thing I want to show you is this is the calendar link. If we click on this, we can see that we don't have any particular calendars under the closing team right now. And I'm not sure you want to call it closers, because you don't want your customer to see that you're trying to close them. So maybe it's just a booking calendar or a retention calendar, however you want to name it, it's up to you. But we need to go in and set up this calendar now. So if we click on this, there's some really cool things that HighLevel has put in here now. And so you can see we have the 2 individuals in here, and as we mentioned, we can set a priority. So if we want Melanie to receive, most of those leads, we can set her as a high priority. That means that Melanie is going to get the first leads that come in, and it's going to prioritize her to get most of the leads. And then if she doesn't pick up those leads and own those leads, then Jody can pick those up. Otherwise, and also in the meeting location, we can put in our Zoom links or whatever, a meeting link in there. If you have a Zoom link that you're going to always use, you can put that in there. The other thing that they did that's really cool here is optimize for equal distribution. So what this does, we have the meeting locations, which you could put your Zooms in there, but it will, if we get 10 leads coming in, it'll give 5 leads to each individual. So Melanie will get 5 leads, Jody will get 5 leads. So it's a really good thinking on HighLevel's part to do this. I don't know any other lead generation or anything that you could purchase that would do any of this like what they're doing. So they've done a great job on this. So now we need to go in and name our calendar, because we're adding a new calendar here. So we're just going to call it, let's see, booking. We'll call it setup interview. Let's just call it that. Everything's going to change to what you want to put in here. So we'll just copy and paste this in here. And then maybe we're just going to call this, for the calendar link, we're going to just call it setup. So it's basically like a sub account here under appointments, closing, setup. The other thing that's cool is it gives it an appointment title. So it'll grab the contact's name and put it in there. It will be using the created appointment title, and you can use templated parameters in there. The other thing is in Google Calendars, you can list, have a color that's specific to this particular setup. So maybe it's purple, that we want to assign to this. Maybe you have another calendar that's in green, that's potential customers, or whatever, or orange, however you want to label those, so you can identify that right away. So we're just going to hit save and continue. And now we come to availability. And so this is the appointment slot settings. And so we're just saying that those setup calls are 15-minute slot durations because they're just a quick setup. And then we can do an interval on these. We could have them every hour, or we can have them every 15 minutes. So if you got them every 15 minutes, you're looking at one at 9, 9:15, 9:30, and so on and so on. But maybe you don't want to take that many slots. Maybe you just want one an hour, and then you just select, one an hour. But you could do every 15 minutes, and you could give yourself a buffer of, say, 5 minutes, which is going to allow you 5 or 10 minutes, let's just call it 10 minutes, to regroup, get ready for the next onboarding or setup or whatever you're doing in this 15 minutes, and refresh, grab a drink. And so you got 10 minutes in between these slots. Now, the appointments per slot. So typically this is going to be one, unless you're doing a group onboarding. So if you're doing a group onboarding, maybe it's 10 appointments per slot, where everybody's coming into one Zoom link and you're onboarding them all together. So that's pretty cool, but typically it's just going to be like an interview, a potential client, whatever. So it's typically going to be one. Appointments per day. So maybe you set this to 6 per day. So that's 6 15-minute segments, which is like an hour and a half a day, basically, if you combine them all together. So that gives you your slots, appointment slot settings, and then we need to move to scheduling notices. So this is really important because you don't want to get caught off guard. So the minimum scheduling notice is basically saying, do you want 24 hours notice on this? Typically not. You just want to put a couple hours in there, maybe an hour or 2 hours. I'm going to put 1 hour. So you're not caught off guard on somebody scheduling a new appointment. So it gives you an hour notice of that appointment coming up, so you can get back to your desk if you're out to lunch or whatever that is. Now, a date range, this is the number of days that they can see on your calendar. So you're not going to allow them, you could do whatever you want, 30 days, but typically when you're doing marketing and advertising and you're generating leads, if you schedule somebody 7 days from now, it's probably going to be a no-show unless they're very, very interested. And definitely 14 days, forget it, because they're going to forget about it. They'll get notices, but they'll still, it's possible that they'll forget about it. Typically, we're just going to say 7 days. So from today, let's just say it's Monday, it'll show till next Monday the calendar availability. So it'll give them a 7-day range to book whatever they want. Then office hours, basically you can set your office hours to whatever you want. If you want from, the office hours are going to be your booking times. So just remember that. That's not your actual office hours. This is where they can book between 9 to 5. Maybe on Fridays you take a half day, like I always like to take a half day on Fridays. So maybe it's just 8 to 12 o'clock that you're going to put in here. If I can find my 12. So 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and let's change this to 9. And then, so you can set these hours to whatever you want. If you wanted to do 9 to 5 on all the days, you can put apply all, and it will change all these at once. Or you can say, I know a lot of people that do all their customer potential bookings from 9 to 11 or 9 to noon during the week, And so maybe it's just those. But that gives you an idea. We're just going to hit save and continue and go to the next step here. Okay, let me show you one other thing I forgot to show you here. Hours, you could actually book, show yourself available from, say, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then you can add, say, after lunch, you want to be available from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you can set a break in there, which is really, really cool how you can do that. And of course, you can toggle these on or off to add in Saturday if you're going to really work a Saturday. I don't recommend that, but that's just me. Have your weekends off to rest. So that was just one other thing that I want to show you. Confirmation now. So we're in our forms. We can select a form here that's already there, and you can use sticky contacts. So, but if your form already has a sticky contact in it, let's just put this book a marketing audit results call. See, it already had a sticky form in it, so it automatically shut that off. So that's a really cool thing to know about if it already has it in there. So we can see that the contact form recommends first name, last name, email, phone number fields. Let's walk through these notifications and additional options. Let the calendar auto-confirm my appointment. So we can toggle this on and off. And basically what this does, it auto-confirms that appointment. So when somebody books an appointment, it will auto-confirm that. And so if your client is okay with that, that they're auto-confirmed, then leave it checked. But just remember that that appointment is set, and they have to make sure that they're get on that appointment. If you uncheck it, the client, your client or yourself, your marketing company or whatever you're doing, then it's pending. It's a pending appointment, and you have to go in there and click confirm to confirm it, and then it confirms the appointment and puts it into the calendar. Send appointment alerts, emails to assigned team members. If you have this on, it prevents you or eliminates a step in your triggers that you have to set up. So by default, it automatically send that, which is really nice because then you don't have to go in and add those additional triggers in there. So one thing to remember is, you can make these appointment notifications more robust if you shut this off and then you set up a trigger with a more robust type email alert, or you can use the default here. Allow Google Calendar to send invites and update emails to attendees. So if you turn this on, Google is going to send out a calendar alert that looks like this. We've all seen them where you can hit yes, maybe no, whatever it is. It's got the information, the location, whether it's Zoom or whatever it is. We know what these look like. But remember, if you have those turned on and you have a trigger, there's going to be 2 notifications. So you probably want to shut these off and set up your own trigger on that. So, and obviously let it go through. Allow rescheduling and cancellation. Basically, you can see if we shut these off, turn them on, it's got your custom fields in here you can type in and add to these. So phone number, email, if you want them, different situation, you can type and make sure you put in your brackets in there and whatever for those particular notes, but need to make a change. This allows that individual to cancel the actual meeting or reschedule it. So that's what that does. Facebook Pixel ID. So you can put your Facebook Pixel ID in from your Facebook Business Manager and have your Facebook books in there where it's booking an appointment, and you can get those notifications or those calendar invites, I should say. So basically, with the Facebook Pixel, you're taking and you can monitor your conversions in your Facebook. So we can, if somebody schedules an appointment, we can monitor that conversion or that Facebook book, or we can monitor the actual click on what the conversion is. So it gives you some options there. So the last thing we want to cover is you can put in some custom code here if you've got anything that you want to load in JavaScript or anything like that. But the form submission, after they complete that scheduling, you can redirect them to URLs. So maybe there's a welcome page that you create on your website or in a funnel. So you could use a funnel in HighLevel and direct them to that funnel or a website or whatever you want. Say thank you. Or you could just have a custom thank you for your message. We'll contact you shortly. Please call our office. And obviously you want to put a phone number or information. You can type whatever you want in here. So we're going to hit complete, and that completes that section there. So now we have our calendar set up, and remember when we clicked on this link, it was just a blank page. So hopefully it will take us to, if we go to this would be the page, this would be the calendar link. So if we go to the page here, we see the page. It said closing team. Remember, there wasn't anything here before, but if we click on this particular one, it takes us directly into the calendar. So now we've got our time set up on this particular deal. So we were doing every 15 minutes. We gave ourselves a little bit of buffer in between there. So it's showing that we've got 15-minute durations, Thursday the 7th, and it gives us our time zone that we're on right now. And as you can see here, remember we set it for 7 days, so it's pushing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it allows us to go in there and schedule to whatever we want, and then you would just hit continue on that. So the other thing that's in here on the settings that we need to talk about is the calendar preferences. So in the calendar preferences, what day do you want your calendar to start on? Do you want it to start on Sunday, Monday, whatever you choose? You can hit this drop down, and we've got 3 options: Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So typically we're going to start ours on Monday, or Sunday is fine because then it gives that full week. The other nice thing that HighLevel put in here is this widget language. So if you're working in a different language, say it's a funnel or a lead generation in France, we could select a different language here. We're not going to do that. And also you could select 24-hour formats. So 2 o'clock would be 1400 hours. And some countries do go by the 24 time clock. So we're just going to hit save here. And then lastly is the calendar code. We can see our calendar team here. We've got select our calendar, so we can set up interview. And then it gives us this option of dedicated URL. So by turning this on, users will not be able to access the list of calendars through the back button. So I believe what they mean is if you toggle this on or off, so let's just toggle it off, I believe it will remove that, but I didn't hit save, so obviously it's not going to show that. Anyways, that's what it does. It toggles on and off that back button. And then we've got our calendar URL. We've got an embed code, so we can use it just by copying here and going to there. So lastly, we're going to go over our profiles. So let's dive into that, and then we'll finish this video up. Okay, lastly, you need to make sure you integrate your calendars. So under integrations, you need to connect your Google account here if you haven't already connected it. Obviously, you can connect your Stripe. So when they're booking an appointment, you can take a credit card payment before they, if you wanted to do that, say it's a counseling meeting or something like that, requires payment. But we're going to connect our Google account. We just go in here, and of course, we got to allow this and allow all this to go in. And then it's going to ask us which business do we want to link here. And we can just select whatever we want here, and we'll just select Paar Media Group, and then it will connect us to that account. So it's connected already, and we're ready to go. So one thing that I don't have on here, just because I don't have the users set up for the individual profiles, is there's another button here that you can set up with profiles, and you can select and add their other calendars in there. So what it does, it won't double book. Say an individual salesperson has multiple calendars, it will go in there and examine those calendars and look at which calendar, if it's already booked on one calendar and not another, it'll say, okay, I can't book you on this time slot because he's already booked up. So it allows you to do that, allows you to assign to other users and everything else. So it'll be a profile button. But I'm under my Paar Media Group, and I'm not logged in as an individual profile. So that's why that's not showing there. But if you have any questions, again, leave your comments below. Even reach out to me. Happy to help you out. I can't sit on the phone for hours helping everybody out. There's a great Facebook page out there that is HighLevel that a lot of people get on and answer questions. And of course, Chase is a great resource to reach out to at HighLevel to answer questions, and they've got great customer support. Remember, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Anytime I add a new HighLevel video, you get notified right away, and appreciate it, and look forward and have great success in HighLevel. Take care.